you're telling their story authentically, but you're really dialing into like the most interesting kind of like angles of it.
Obviously, a documentary director, a person who works with other people, is a psychologist in a way. That's at least what I believe in. How do you approach creation of the psychological portrait of your subjects in your films? When you have, let's say, an artist and you have to tell their story, so where do you start as a filmmaker?
First thing I try and start with is like having an honest look at the subject and like, you know, try and figure out what the most, like what the story is, and then what the most interesting aspects of the story is. Try and streamline all of that so that like you're telling their story authentically, but you're really dialing into like the most interesting kind of like angles of it that'll act as like hooks for the audience, you know, so that like you keep their attention, you know, through the whole process. It's like, and it's getting shorter and shorter. When we made Saving Banksy, I think it was like 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes, like you need to kind of have a hook.
Yeah.
You know, to like keep people like to keep that flow kind of state.
Right.
But now it's like I think 30 seconds. You know, it's like
attention spam is really short these days, right?
But you'll notice Art of Protest is actually like much more like
exactly
like the energy of that movie is much more like we wanted it to, you know, this is a bad pun, but we wanted it, Art of Protest, to feel like you just did like a rail of like cocaine.
Yeah.
You know, and you just came out of it. You're like
just going all in.
Yeah, we wanted to like, you know, mainline the activism and like have them go out and like, you know, be ready for the election, you know. Right. So different intentions.
Right. How to become an insider, how to win the trust of the creatives in that world and really be able to, you know, being present at these key moments and being able to capture it basically.
I think the only thing you can do is really just be authentic with them, like not try and like have ulterior motives, you know. That's the worst thing you can possibly do going into any of that, is like have ulterior motives. Your intentions have to be good.
Yes.
They should be aligned. If they're aligned with the artist, then like things will, you know, can move real fast and like, you know, efficiently. So it's in the benefit of like both parties in that sense, but you also have to be down to do whatever it takes. Yeah. You know, and sometimes that means like gray areas, you know, of like deciding, you know, like trespassing and like having like your kind of like plan, you know, of like how you deal with it if you get like busted, you know, like you got to be a documentarian, you got to not lose your footage to the police and actually endanger the people you're documenting. You know, so you've got to walk a fine line, you know, to get a lot of that kind of material. And I think what the unfortunate thing is, like, there were a lot of people that like were doing this kind of like filming around the world like 10 years ago and, you know, didn't have the right intentions or were trying to ride something and like ended up getting caught, and then like the footage like getting caught and like, you know, it all has like a domino effect. Yeah. And so, you know, but I've heard some like horror stories, you know, of people that like that kind of stuff has happened to.
Very risky business.
Yeah, and like you got to treat it serious, man. Like, I've always like had the utmost respect for even like tagging. You know, like I think tagging is one of the most pure forms of graffiti. You know, like there's no faking it. You know, there's no faking it. You can't, you know, you're not pasting anything up that you made in a studio somewhere. Yeah. You know, you have the least amount of materials to work with. And you're like, so somebody that's able to do something dope with that has like the highest level of like talent in my mind.